Was a girl running in our group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford Coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look at Buddy, hot rod and large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
We're still talking 928 Car Guys. If you want to weigh in, or go on to Facebook, you can type it in, and you can tell us all about your Christmas experience, or what's going on there, or what's happening. It's a lot of fun. And this is, I'm telling you, this car business is just up for grabs. And the weather has been wreaking havoc on it. They had storms, they had typhoons, they had tornadoes. Well, now, here, I got good news and bad news, Eric. I'll give you the bad news first. GM halted the Corvette building of Corvettes after a tornado caused a fire at the Kentucky plant. They're built in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Several years ago, they had a sinkhole that fell in the earth, and a whole bunch of vintage Corvettes went down in it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And now they got a tornado. Well, it caused a fire. But that's the bad news. The good news is, I just read this morning that they're back up and running and rocking and rolling and building that new Corvette. And boy, is that baby sharp. Whoa. I'm here to tell you. See here, Ford. Ford is taking reservations. This little thing with the bell on it. I'm telling you, there it is. Yeah, there we go again. Whenever a bell rings, a gearhead gets a camshaft. Isn't that how that goes?
That's the saying in the car business.
Something like that. A gearhead gets a cam, or if it's crazy. Never mind. I want to get him in mad.
Oh my God.
Ford. Here we go. Ford. They are capping the F-150 Lightning reservations right around 200,000 as the production time is coming close. Catch this. Ford Motor Company on Wednesday stopped taking reservations for the upcoming 150 Lightning electric pickup as it prepares to open its order bank for the truck next month. So they're going to let you order it. Ford CEO Jim Farley told Automotive News in November that reservations for the pickup truck were approaching 200,000 units. A spokesman on Wednesday echoed the same figure without giving a more precise number. Of course, they're getting close to 200,000. Now they have reservations. Now they're going to open up the order book. And if you still want one, you are on the reservation list, you get to order one. And you get to wait for it because of the chip shortage. Unless it was a Kia, then you could be part of a record sales year. Ford has said how many Ford has not said how many Lightnings it'll build initially, although it plans to ramp up to an annual annual rate of about 80,000 in 2024. The vehicle's second full year of production. 2023 will be the first full year of production. I'm here to tell you that all-electric pickup truck it's just got to be the bee's knees, man. It's got to be great. It's got to be something great. And I hope it's got enough power. I'm sure it's got enough power to do what the working class needs it for. It'll be fun to have. It'll be fun, but it's got to be plugged in at night. But I'm sure it'll work all day, and then you just plug it in before you go home and charge it up all night, and then the next morning you get up and do it again. And you have not burned a gallon of gas. Okay, well, you still polluted air because you bought electricity, but you haven't burned a gallon of gas. And anytime we can get away from Mideastern oil usage from the Mideast, I am just ecstatic. I have been in the car business for over 50 years, and we have been a slave to the Middle East and their oil for that 50 years, and I want to be out of it. Well, for a short period a while back, we were exporting oil. Actually, we had our own. We were not a slave for like a year or two, and then that all got changed again. So now we're back to begging them for oil. I'm just telling you. Matter of fact, the governor of Florida has lowered the gas tax to fight the price of oil because he refuses to beg for Arab oil. He just refuses to make more oil. They don't want to make more oil. He lowered the gas tax. We'll get the oil wherever we can get it. See what happens. But he's trying to bring the price down so that the scarceness of oil is what drives the price up. Right, gasoline per gallon. Mm-hmm. And he's just reducing the taxes on it, trying to bring that price down where it belongs. He's a good man. We'll see what happens. I can't remember what his name is, but he's a good man. Subaru is regrouping as their unfilled orders are soaring. Well, guess what? Everybody's unfilled orders are soaring. After soaring from the U.S. record for the record to the next for more than a decade, Subaru is finally being tripped up. Ultra-thin vehicle inventories, no. And recovering from that will take long into next year. Wow, who wrote that? Conceding Subaru can't sell what it can't build. Well, this is true. As the global semiconductor shortage drags on, CEO Tonome Nakamura says the Japanese car makers' back orders now stand at around 45,000 vehicles. That's a lot for Subaru because they don't sell many. The logjam is more than 36,000 vehicles Subaru's U.S. dealers sold in October. And we are now in December. That means that's been at least 2 months that they've been on order. I mean, I talked to my salesman, the guy that sold me my 2020 last year, before this hit the fan here. And he wanted to know if I wanted to trade it in, of course. And I said no. And I said, well, what can you do for me? He says, you got another one, a nice black one? He goes, no, but I'll give you $2,000 more than you paid for that Edge. And it's 6 months old, or 10 months old, whatever it is, 12 months old. And I said, $2,000 over what I paid for it? He says, oh, yes, I'll give you $2,000 over. But I said, well, what kind of car am I going to get? He goes, well, you're going to order one. I said, no. That means this old fat guy's got to walk. And that can't happen. That's not going to happen. Speaking to Automotive News in late November, Nakamura said the only thing Subaru Corp can do at the moment is keep churning out what vehicles it can to whittle the mountain and rebuild inventories. Come on, they didn't sell that many cars to begin with. Subaru's not that big a deal. We're not going to miss them. If they're not around, we're not going to miss them. Subaru is one that. But you know what? People that buy those, they really love them, Eric. I have customers that have Subarus, and that's all they ever have is Subarus.
It's been a while since I've seen that brand of car.
Well, when it's time to get another one, they go get another one. And a Subaru dealer, there's only like one every state.
Right.
So if you buy one, you got to travel hours to buy one, then you got to travel hours when your warranty work could get done. So you better make sure you get it all done at once. It's like, it's like buying a Tesla, only a little bit better. President Joe Biden on Wednesday will sign an executive order vowing to transition to the acquisition of only zero-emission vehicles by 2035 for the federal vehicle fleet, the White House said. That's funny. He originally said 2025. The U.S. government owns more than 600,000 vehicles. I believe that. With the Army, Navy, Air Force, Post Office, all that good stuff. Biden's executive order also pledges 100% zero-emission light-duty vehicle acquisitions by 2027, according to the fact sheet seen by Reuters. The federal government will work with American vehicle, battery, and charging equipment manufacturers and installers to transform its fleet into the largest zero-emission vehicle fleet in the nation, reaching 100% of zero-emission vehicle acquisitions by 2035. Well, we'll see. I don't know. How many vehicles does Hertz and the rest of them have? 600,000 vehicles is a big fleet. I imagine if they electrify all of it, it's going to be the biggest fleet in the country. I mean, I guess it should be, right? Hear that bang? You hear that? That's my bell. That little bell's killing me. I'm telling you. Ho, 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 and a barrel of rum.
It looks cute on you, boss.
Oh, I know. I was over at the Bumper to Bumper Auto Value store this week, and the guy was wearing a hat like this, and I told him, I got one of those. I got to get it out for the show on Saturday. And he says, I'll come on your show if you want and go ho, ho, ho. I said, I can do ho, ho, ho. I mean, come on. I got that line. I got that memorized.
Hey, that one's easy, huh?
Yeah, I got that one. That's easy. Okay. The new love triangle. Now, I keep telling you all the time about this guy's in bed with that supplier, this company's in bed with that company. They jump from bed to bed. They're like sleeping toads or something. They just jump. Well, here's another one, and this is an article by Automotive News, and it's kind of an opinion, but it's actually some facts to it too. I'll read out the stuff that's not facts. The recent partnership between German supplier ZF, Friedrichshafen, and Microsoft underscores how the relationship among tech companies, suppliers, and automakers is changing in the era of advanced technology vehicles. Well, absolutely, and you know it's going to change. But here's another marriage and they're not, I don't know if they're cutting stone, because I see LG is getting kicked out of a lot of marriages. LG batteries. Anyway, most American suppliers no longer see themselves as simply providers of the hardware and physical components automakers put in their vehicles. Many now see an opportunity to partner with a major tech companies on advancements in software, and even to launch new business independent of the specific needs of their automotive customers. That signals a new power structure for the auto industry, with tech giants occupying a third seat at the table where previously only automakers and suppliers sat. So at one time, there was no third person. There was no third party. Now they've come together and made a menage de trois. Love triangle. Believe it, Eric? Well, you can believe it. It started. Three Canadian auto shows are canceled due to the Omicron variant. The Canadian International Auto Show, Montreal International Auto Show, and Vancouver International Auto Show have been called off for 2022 as the rapidly spreading Omicron variant spawns a resurgence of COVID-19 across Canada. Three events planned for February, January, and March, respectively, would have marked the return of the Canadian Auto Show circuit after a year-long pandemic-induced hiatus. Pandemic-induced, who induced the pandemic? I don't want to talk about it. Now, since you're not going to get to go to the auto shows, because we'll probably won't have them here either, but China already had theirs. Of course, they don't have a problem, as I recall. Anyway, between the Los Angeles Auto Show and the Guangzhou Auto Show in China this month has seen dozens of new vehicle debuts, but they came from companies the U.S. industry barely knows. Not yet, anyway. Are you ready for this? Here's a list of the newcomers and their Canoo, C-A-N-O-O, Canoo. EV startup Canoo showed a prototype electric van in L.A. last spring. It's from the Netherlands, made by Nedcar in the Netherlands as a contract manufacturer, and they start about $34,000, all electric. Electra Mechanica Solo. This is a Vancouver-based Electrica Mechanica says it marries bold ideas with elegant design to create thrilling new ways to move people. Wow. A tiny car called the Solo. It was at the LA show last year. I got to tell you, Fisker Ocean. I don't like this guy. I right here. He's right up there with Elon Musk in my bag. Heinrich Fisker's Electric Ocean crossover has a giant vertical touchscreen that can rotate horizontally for movies watching and the like when the vehicle is in park. Fisker says production is scheduled to begin in a year. He always says it's going to be next year. About $37,000 up to $68,000 before tax credits and shipping fees. But you're going to get your tax credits from the United States if they're made here. All right. I'm not sure where Fisker is based, and I don't care. Indy EV. LA-based Indy, I-N-D-I, EV, electric vehicle, showed an electric crossover called the Indy One, and according to the automaker's website, it will have a production version on sale in less than 2 years. Well, guess what? We haven't seen it yet. Mullen Technologies, CEO, David Michery, unveiled the Mullen 5 compact vehicle, electric vehicle, at the LA show. Mullen said the 5 is a premium SUV and will start at about $56,000 when it goes on sale in 2024. The company says it has a 325-mile range. Mullen announced this year that it will open a manufacturing plant in Memphis, Tennessee. There you go. NIO, I think we've talked about NIO before. NIO unveiled its midsize ET7 electric sedan on the eve of the Guangzhou show in China. The 7-year-old Shanghai-based EV manufacturer says it hopes to produce 600,000 vehicles by late 2022 or early 2023, with 2 plants operating on 2 shifts in the city of Hefei. NIO said the second plant is slated to start output in the third quarter next year. The company ordered the Norway market in September. It entered the Norway market in September and is expected to offer products in Germany next year, but it's made in China. VinFast. VinFast is the Vietnamese company. VinFast makes cars, buses, and scooters. VinFast made its global debut as an electric vehicle brand at the LA Auto Show with the VF-E35 and the VF-E36. And last I heard, they were scrambling around the United States looking for investors. And I'm not going to invest. No. Volkswagen. Now, Volkswagen is proactive on this electric vehicle thing. They've probably been one of the top electric vehicle and they're really proactive on this. Volkswagen of America said Thursday it had committed $20 million to ongoing efforts to prepare its U.S. retail network to sell battery electric vehicles, including underwriting upgrades as franchise dealers for charging infrastructure and fixed ops. U.S. dealers began selling the VW ID4 compact crossover in March. The automaker will begin local production in early 2022 at its assembly plant complex in Chattanooga, Tennessee. VW said that its subsidy program, which is scheduled to continue through June, has resulted so far in dealers adding 23,490 kilowatts of charging capacity. Wow, more than 1,260 service technicians across the country. More than 99% of VW dealers in the U.S. signed up for improvements needed to sell electric vehicles. Well, yeah, you got to have places to charge these doggone things. Nobody's talking about any of this. Nobody says to me, George, we're going to build all these chargers so people can charge those electric vehicles. And the other thing I want to know, Eric, is are all these electric vehicles made with a universal plug-in? Are they all the same?
I don't think so.
Because if they're not, you're going to have adapters. You're going to have all kind of goofy garbage to charge your electric vehicle. I'm sure they're going to find a way to do it. But I don't see the automakers getting together and saying, we'll just make this one plug.
Right.
I don't see that happening because they don't agree on nothing usually.
And it's going to be weird too. At the first go around after this wave of new electric cars are going to come in. Like you said, this is going to be different. I know Tesla's is very different from what is it? The Prius.
Yeah.
They're different plugs. They plug in differently too as well. So yes, you're right.
What is Dad going to say when you bring home your new electric car and it comes with a big old charger in the garage, and now he can't get his car in the garage? What's he going to say? He's going to have a tantrum.
Oh, definitely.
And you know what? It's going to be going to be a big, big change.
It is.
It's going to be a change that we're all going to live with because it's coming.
Up until, like you said, up until they come together and make one universal one, we're just going to have this problem because then you can only charge your car at a certain place.
Yes, I can only charge my car on this block, but you go to that block and you can charge yours.
Exactly.
That's nuts.
Right.
That's nuts.